So everyone has been asking me if I'd be willing to be a judge on next year's drag race. Well, what I can tell you on that is I will give it serious consideration, but I will have to get back to you on that.
Hey everyone, Chris Rudolph from Logo here. December 1st is World AIDS Day, and we have the honor to speak with Dr. Anthony Fauci. On top of being one of the most famous doctors in the world and a leader in the response to COVID-19, Dr. Fauci has advised 6 presidents on HIV, AIDS, and other infectious diseases. Dr. Fauci, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us today.
Thank you for having me, Chris.
Through your research, you became friends with AIDS activist Larry Kramer. Do you mind just talking a little bit about your friendship with him?
Well, it started off with a bang. So Larry was the most iconoclastic, theatrical, passionate group, and he introduced himself by writing an article with the headline, An Open Letter. No, I call you a murderer, an open letter to an incompetent idiot, Dr. Anthony Fauci. So in the realm of attention getting, he got my attention. Larry started Gay Men's Health Crisis with his colleagues, but he also started ACT UP in New York. And I got to get involved not only with Larry, but with activists, young men who really wanted to change the direction of where we were going and put much more resources and attention to this emerging plague.
What did your friendship with Larry teach you?
As I extended myself to listening to the activists, I found out that they were absolutely correct. And although they had to resort to theatrical disruptions to get the attention of the scientific community and the regulatory community and the federal government in general, I realized that I would have done exactly the same thing as they did. So I transformed from the object and the target of their activism to being an activist with them.
So sadly, Larry passed away earlier this year. If he were still with us, what do you think he'd be saying about the current state of affairs in American politics?
No, you don't really want me to say that publicly. I think anyone who knows Larry was not shy about confronting what he felt was anything that was not fair, not done correctly, but particularly he was extraordinarily protective of the gay community, who he referred to as my people, my children, particularly the younger group. And he felt that of all of the things that they had to go through in being disenfranchised, in being stigmatized against, that it was completely unacceptable that this disease, which seemed to be targeting the gay community and the HIV/AIDS, was not being properly addressed by the federal government.
We've seen so many breakthroughs in HIV/AIDS with PrEP and injectable PrEP. Are you hopeful that we'll see a vaccine or cure in the near future?
Yes, actually, Chris, I am. I'm a realist, but I'm also a cautious optimist. And, we have done things, we being the scientific and in many respects the activist community, that were unimaginable. I mean, who would have thought when I was there day and night taking care of desperately ill young men in the 1981, 82, 83, that we would have a series of drugs which you could put into one pill that could bring a viral load to below detectable level, keep it there, essentially allow the person living with HIV to lead essentially a normal life. I think it was going to be very difficult to do because of the nature of this virus, its ability to integrate itself into the genome of cells, its extraordinary ability to mutate and change. Even with that, I believe that if we continue to pursue the scientific approaches, that we will get both objectives. It may not be next month or next year, but we will get there.
Dr. Fauci, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us today, and thank you for your continued work on HIV and AIDS. Before you go, I just want to ask you one more question about COVID-19. Are you hopeful that there might be some return to normalcy in time for Pride Month in June 2021?
Chris, I don't think it's going to be absolutely normal in the sense that we will not have to pay attention to public health measures, because it would really depend upon how many people get vaccinated. If we get a good response in the sense of the anti-vaccine movement gets pushed aside and people realize this is so important to get vaccinated, and we vaccinate the overwhelming majority of the population as we get to April, May, June, we could likely have something that approaches normality, but that's going to really depend on how many people get vaccinated. I hope we do have that.
Well, I'll hopefully see you at the parade then.
I hope I do see you at the parade, indeed.